Good morning, everyone. It is January 2nd, 2020. It's Leanne Allegretto back to walk you through the next few days worth of weather impacts. And let's get started. We'll just jump right in here. Today, Thursday, we are experiencing snow bands, and that should continue through the day. But by tomorrow, Friday, we will have a warm front which will warm things back up and raise snow levels. So the snowfall we're seeing today, or at least at the time that this was recorded, should transition to at least snow mixing with rain or even pockets of freezing rain at times. Not completely unlike we've already seen happen this week. So it's kind of a rinse repeat situation that we currently find ourselves in, and it's wearing on all of us. So by Saturday, though, we do have a pretty strong cold front coming through, and that's going to change a lot of things. It'll drive snow levels back down to the valleys. It will cool temperatures back to at least at or below seasonal normals. And snow chances will occur in both mountains and valleys, but the more concerning part of this cold front is the strong, potentially damaging winds that are looking like they will occur Saturday afternoon. So I'll get into that as we go forward. And of course, beyond that time frame, mountain and valley snow is expected to continue Sunday through Tuesday, and we should remain cold enough to support snow at this time during the Sunday through Tuesday time frame. But not massive amounts of snow in either location, mountains or valleys, but still notable in an active period. So let's talk about Friday. So the warm front that's coming in, it will help end the snow bands that are occurring today and kind of shut things off as far as the light snow. It will mix with rain and freezing rain at times, but very light amounts. And that goes for mountain snowfall as well. Mountain snowfall will continue, but it'll gradually start to lessen. No 1 to 2 feet like we already accumulated the past 2 days. So just light amounts. And snow levels will start to rise into the 4,500 to 5,500 foot range by Friday evening. So here's the expected snowfall during the Thursday evening, through Friday evening time frame. So as you can see, not a lot, and that's due in part to the fact that we'll have rain and freezing rain mixing in with the snow, but still some, 3 to 4 inches here, 1 to 2 inches there for mountain passes as you look around the area. So wanted to point those things out, as snow will continue and roads could remain a little tricky out there, especially over mountains. And then Friday night through Saturday evening, as the cold front makes its way towards us and we transition out of the warmer air and into the colder air, of course we'll have snow along the cold front, and these are the snow amounts that we're going with now during this Friday night through Saturday evening time frame. So again, not a lot in the valleys, but this time the valleys should be downsloped from the very strong winds we're expecting in the higher terrain and aloft. So most valleys should get shadowed. There is a chance for some snowfall right along the Idaho-Montana border for some valleys, and if you look down in the southern Bitterroot, it might be that the winds won't overcome the snow, and so 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 inches dependent will actually fall. So we do have that higher chance for a few inches down in that area. But overall, it should remain a mountain pass, higher elevation snowfall rather than a valley one. So I wanted to talk about the warm frontal temperatures. So this is the reason why we'll be flirting around with the rain, snow, and freezing rain mix yet again. And it's because a lot of places will warm into the 40s, or at least the high 30s during the afternoon and evening on Friday. And with rising snow levels, that's going to add to the backcountry condition impacts as well. So kind of a messy day on Friday, but the good thing is large amounts of precipitation are not expected. But then overnight, most of the area basically falls back down to near freezing. So we could have some issues with partial refreezing overnight with the cold front coming through, so that is a concern. You can see some of the higher valleys are comfortably well below freezing, but a lot of valleys, even in north central Idaho and into along the Highway 93 corridor, is flirting right around that 32-degree mark, which is really tricky. And then, wow, this graphic is not good. Okay, so this was supposed to show the winds. I don't know if you can see this graphic very well. It doesn't look good on my computer, so the next slide should fix that because I have a backup. But I want to talk about the strong winds on Saturday. So ignore the graphic, but look at the text. The timing of this strong wind event is beginning in the high terrain Friday, particularly across northwest Montana. And then the strongest winds will peak Saturday afternoon for both mountains and valleys. So we're expecting some seriously strong winds, and I'll show you that in the next slide. And it will all begin to lessen Saturday night, and though the mountains may linger a little breezy through the day Sunday. But here's the much better graphic. I've tried to circle areas of, which area is going to see the greatest winds and taper down from there. So the area circled in red here, the red blob, we're looking at 50 to 70 miles per hour plus for elevations 5,000 feet and above. For elevations below 5,000 feet, we're expecting 25 to 40 miles per hour. So it's going to be a pretty windy day, and that should last for like 12 hours, up to 12 hours. So, it starts basically late morning, continues through Saturday night. It's going to be a prolonged period. And then the area in blue, slightly less, above 5,000 feet, we're looking at 30 to 50 miles per hour with an isolated 60 plus miles per hour, mainly up in the Kootenai, Cabinet, Purcell region. And then down to elevations of 5,000 feet and below, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Then, of course, the Camas Prairie region, the general area there in north central Idaho, you guys won't see nearly as strong winds. And that area is circled in green, where we're expecting 20 to 35 miles per hour in the higher terrain, and below 5,000 feet, 10 to 25 miles per hour. That being said, Grangeville could be pretty breezy during this time frame given the trajectory of the winds, where they're coming from out of the south. So we're going to take another look at that as we get closer to see just if Grangeville is going to be kind of the oddball out in that area. Now, just a note here, these are sustained winds. Of course, the gusts, which I do not have pictured here, are going to be higher than what we're seeing in the sustained range. So things are going to be really, really strong, especially in that red blobbed area. All right, so Sunday through early next week. I didn't include any graphics, but the same thing continues. We have an active pattern. We'll produce light snow in both valleys and mountains on and off. And one thing I think we can all agree upon is that a continuation of seasonable temperatures should help make things a little easier with trying to decide what precipitation type we're going to see. And it looks like it's going to be all snow. So active period continuing into early next week. Here's our threat matrix. Boom! You see right in the middle there's a bunch of red, and that's due to the winds. Not so much the snow, which we are going to see snow on Saturday, but I think between all of us forecasters here, we agree that the highest concern and the highest threats will be due to strong winds. And that's mainly in northwest Montana, west central Montana, and southwest Montana. Bookending that, north central Idaho and Lemhi County, you guys are labeled as moderate for snow and the winds. A little bit less on the winds, but you could see more snow as a result. Then, of course, we have a large span of time, both Friday, Sunday, and Monday, and one portion of Tuesday labeled in yellow for low threats from lingering light snowfall. But obviously Saturday is the day that we are most concerned about, and you can see that reflected here. Okay, so we will return on Sunday, and we'll see what the weather brings us then. Thanks for tuning in.